Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about prime lenses. Now for those of you who don't know what a prime lens is, a prime lens is a lens that has a fixed focal point, which means basically you can't zoom it. So you either move your subject forward or back, or you move your camera forward or back, but you can't zoom. All you can do is focus. The cool thing about these is you get them in certain different sizes, generally around a 35mm and then a 50mm and an 85mm is pretty standard. And you basically pick each lens to do whatever scene you want. I'm going to explain a little bit about what we do with these lenses and how they work essentially, but basically I'm going to talk to you about how much they cost, because Canon have L series lenses which cost an absolute fortune. As much as they're fantastic lenses, we're talking $4,000 to $6,000 for those three lenses in a prime series. It's a lot of money. So what I've actually done is I've acquired a bunch of other Canon lenses that are all brand new that fit a budget a lot better. And I'll show you a test where we're going to set up the camera about 2 meters away from the subject, and all we're going to do is leave it on automatic for video, so we don't change any settings, and just set focus, and you'll see what each lens does compared to the last lens. Okay. And the first lens we're going to talk about is this. This is a 50mm Canon lens, and this is the cheapest Canon fixed lens you can get. It cost me $90. It has automatic focus and manual focus, but for video, obviously, that's not an issue. The downfall of this lens, obviously, is the fact that it's got a mechanical zoom, so you find that it's quite loud and clunky when you, sorry, not mechanical zoom, mechanical focus, so it's quite loud and clunky when you're using it. But if you're using video, you're manually focusing anyway, so it's not really an issue. But for $90, you can't go wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you what this looks like on the camera with the subject we've set up over here, and you can see exactly how it works. As you can see, we've got some sunglasses and a picture I've just thrown in the back to dirty up the frame so it's not so white. But this is a 50mm lens. The good thing about this is it gives you pretty much of an all-round focus point. Even though the sunglasses are in focus, everything else is maybe slightly soft. It's not too much out of focus as it is. A good intermediate mid-range lens. Okay, now you've seen the 50mm in focus in action. Now basically the good thing about the 50mm is it's a mid-range lens, so if you can only afford one prime lens, probably the 50mm is the way to go. If you can afford to buy more, then buy more, but the next in the range is this. And this is a 28mm USM Canon lens. Now these set you back a little bit more. This one set me back about $430, so they're getting up there in price. But compared to an L series lens that Canon provide, it's a no-brainer, unless you're a professional and you need that extra little bit. The glass in this is quite decent, as opposed to 50mm lens is quite cheap, but it is quite good for what it is. The thing about the other 50mm lens is you can get a USM lens, which is about $250 in a 50mm. That's a little bit better, but I went for the cheap one because I wasn't really concerned about focus. The cool thing about these lenses is that they give you a different view on your subject. For instance, a 28mm lens like this one will give you a much wider view of your subject, whereas a 50mm will be a little bit sort of mid-range. And the other lens I'm going to show you in a minute, which is an 85mm, will give you a much more closer look, almost, you know, not like macro, but zoomed in sort of look, and it blurs the background a lot and gives you a really nice look and feel of your shot. The USM stands for ultrasonic motor. Basically, it's got a motor built in to the actual lens for when you're setting focus. So, and it's quick and fast, and well, quick and fast are the same thing, but it's quick, it's quiet, and it makes the lens a fair bit heavier. The 50mm lens is quite light because you're usually using the zoom off the Canon as opposed to using the zoom off the lens. But having said that, if you can get USM lenses all around, get them. I'm going to show you how this looks now, and you can get an idea of how the 50mm looks compared to the 28mm. Here we have the 28mm lens. Now keep in mind that the 50mm footage and this lens and the next footage you do with the 85, the actual tripod's about 1.5 meters from the set of sunglasses. So this gives you an idea how wide this goes. Remember, you can't zoom, so you can only focus. So we've set focus on the sunglasses again. Everything's still fairly sharp, but it's much wider now, so you've got much more of the room in view than we did before. Well, obviously you can see where the light from my lights is falling away as well. It's giving it sort of an artistic sort of look. But that's what you get with the 28mm. It's nice and wide. 50's in the middle, 85 nice and close. Okay, now we're here to talk about the 85mm prime lens. And also it's a USM lens. This one was about $340, so it's cheaper than a 28mm. I guess either A, it's cheaper because it's in demand, or B, the 28mm is more expensive because it's in demand. Go ask Canon. But for around about $900, you've got 3 lenses, which will pretty much set you up for beginning to intermediate video setup with prime lenses. These things are great, but I'm going to show you what this one does. The 85mm is my favourite because of what it does to your subject. Like, it focuses your subject, but it really blurs the background and gives you a really, really good depth of field. So you see how this works, and we'll talk a bit more. Thanks. And now we have the 85mm lens. As I said, about 1.5 meters from the set of sunglasses. You can't zoom these, so just want to reiterate that. So it's not like I'm moving the tripod in and out. This is just basically taking one lens off and putting the other one on and setting focus on the sunglasses. As you can see from the 85mm, we've got sunglasses in focus and the background is quite blurry. The closer you get to a subject, the more it blurs the background as you focus on whatever subject you're focusing on, or foreground, depending on where you set your focus. But the 85mm is my favourite just because it just makes it look so cool. Well, I hope that I've made it a bit easier for people to understand. Sometimes people don't explain what these prime lenses actually do. The cool thing is that they're a fixed panel of glass. The glass and the lens doesn't have to do as much as a zoom does, so the quality of your image is better. Well worth the money. I know it's still around about $1,000, $900 to $1,000 for 3 lenses, but it's better than $6,000 for 3 lenses. So there are cheaper lenses out there for Tamron and other places like that, but I think the glass in these is just a little bit better. Having said that, the 50mm $90 lens wouldn't really matter where you bought that one from because that's bottom of the range, but very affordable. Anyway, I hope you liked our videos, and I'll see you for the next one. Thanks.